I gave Mechelle our outdoor garden because I'm going to be gardening in the in-ground garden. Mechelle's got some big plans for this garden, and we're going to kind of bring you along and share with you the ideas of what she's going to be doing to transform this garden into from a vegetable garden to something that she wants. The first bed that we want to talk about is this L-shaped raised bed here. Her idea is for this to be a medicinal type of garden. She's going to use turmeric, ginger, arugula, some kale in here, and what else, Mechelle?
Spinach and garlic.
And spinach and garlic are going to go in this bed. So that's what this is going to be for. Along the back of the fence is our asparagus. We're in the process of cleaning out that bed. As the asparagus is starting to come into season, we're starting to see more and more shoots. So we hopefully get this cleaned up and maybe harvest some asparagus out of here this year. We had some strawberries over here. I think those are all about gone. We're going to buy some strawberries and maybe put some strawberries in one of these raised beds and step up our strawberry game. So we have 8 in-ground beds that you see here, all these border beds. This past weekend, we put artichoke in the middle of 6 of them, green globe and a purple variety. And then that's going to be the center focal point for those beds. And then around that, we plugged in some cauliflower, twister variety because it does so good here. And then in an L shape around the beds in different formats of each bed, she's got some Shasta daisies, she's got sunflowers and zinnias and a mix of other different kind of flowers she's got in here. So she's mixing in flowers and edibles into these beds. It's going to be absolutely beautiful. I can't wait to see it whenever it's in full bloom. Hopefully around May is what I'm thinking we're going to really see this garden start to pop. Let's go around and show you what we've already planted and got going in these beds. So around these beds, we put in different types of hybrid tomatoes that have a high disease resistance. The reason we chose to do that is because we've planted tomatoes in these beds in recent years, and there may be some potential for disease, and hybrids will fight against those disease with their high disease resistance. And we put our heirloom tomatoes out in the in-ground garden this year. So every 5 foot, we put a tomato. In between that, we put some peppers. We've got our Marconi peppers that are plugged into here, and these are from saved seeds. So hopefully those seeds will start to acclimate to our climate and will give us a better type of variety. And right along in between all that, we're going to put in some black peppers and some eggplants and some flowers, I guess, are going to go in here. We've already put calla lilies bulbs in here, so we're going to start seeing those next spring, and hopefully they'll start looking good. As I'm coming around, I'm noticing that just in a few days that we've had this in ground, these tomatoes are starting to grow and the peppers are starting to grow. Right in the corner here where I had drilled a deep in-ground hole and put some compost down there, Mechelle wanted some angel trumpets. I've got about 10 varieties of angel trumpets that I'm raising out. Most of them haven't flowered yet, but they're going to be some good ones. And so we are putting those in the garden here, 1 in each corner. So we're putting 4 angel trumpets in here to kind of showcase the garden. So coming around this bed right here, we overwintered some spinach. This was previously our asparagus bed, and it looks like we forgot a root because we have an asparagus plant coming up right in the middle. So hopefully we get to harvest that guy out, and then maybe in the next winter, if we remember, we can move that root out of here. One of the big things Mechelle's wanting to do is she's wanting to put some white pea gravel in here. So all this black landscaping fabric is going to be covered up, and that white should really make these beds pop. We're going to re-stain all the woodwork. It's been about 5 years that we've had this structure built, so it's time to put another coat of stain on it. We've got rutabagas here. The rutabagas suffered some freeze damage. Those roots aren't any good. We're going to end up feeding those back to the goats. Over here, you see that we've got some onions. The bigger onions that you see are from seed that we saved from onions last year. I sprouted them out in the fall, grew them through the winter. We put them in the ground right after the hard freeze, and now we've got good onions, or we actually put them in the ground right before the hard freeze, and they made it through the 15-degree temperatures. This didn't seem to be enough for us, so we went back and bought another little bundle of starts. We've plugged them in over here, and we're going to also raise them up. But these homegrown seeds that we have over here, those are looking good. The cattle panels that you see behind me over here, we've got English peas starting to trellis up our cattle panels. We have grown rattlesnake green beans on those trellises in the past, but not this year. Our green beans, we're going to be growing a bush variety out in the in-ground garden out there, and this is what we're going to be growing our kiwi berries on. So we're going to come back, and we have 4 varieties of kiwi, and we're going to be putting them on these panels and let them grow up over the panels and start growing some perennial fruits on those things. I'm excited, and Michelle's excited. This last one we plugged in that cattle panel down there by itself. We put in a jasmine. It's a native variety that grows in the wild here. We put it in over there, and we're going to put some black-eyed Susan flowers on that panel. Can't wait to see how it all looks. I think it's going to be wonderful. This bed over here has always been our carrot bed. Carrots are looking good. It won't be long before our carrots are ready to start harvesting. We got little carrots. They're probably about that long already and about that big around. They get a lot bigger, and we're going to wait and try to harvest them at their peak. They're not at their peak yet, and try to get them out of here before they get woody. Got some radishes. I'm going to look at fermenting some radishes, and we got some beets in there also that I like to pickle some beets from time to time. All right, that's the major update with the garden that we have right outside our back door here. Michelle's taking it over. I'm excited to see what she does with it. And I'm sure you're going to enjoy the updates that we bring to you to show you what she's doing to improve the looks of this garden and turn it into something that she's really proud of. Let's head on over to the in-ground garden that we just broke and we are currently planting, and I'll show you what's going on over there. Let's head on. All right, so now we're out in an 1.5 acres in our in-ground garden. You're looking at a 50-foot by 50-foot square garden. Our rows are going to be 4 foot apart so that we can run our tiller down the rows and help keep the grass out. The first 2.5 rows is our potatoes. We got blue potatoes, russet potatoes, Kennebecs in there. So we've got 3 or 4 different varieties. On the end of the half row, I've went ahead and I put in my heirloom tomatoes out here. I chose out here because this is fresh soil, shouldn't be very many diseases. We do have that risk because we've grown tomatoes in the fenced-in garden last year. That's why we put the hybrid disease-resistant varieties out there. And then we put our heirlooms out here, which are more susceptible to disease. So on that row, we're going to put in several rows of beans and peas. And then on this end, this is where we put our sprawling vegetables. We started some early transplants of Cherokee tan pumpkins, watermelons, cantaloupe, vining winter squash, summer squash, and then down this row we've got zucchini and yellow squash down through here. This next row, this is where we're going to probably put in our sweet potatoes. All right, so we've got to get started on planting out the in-ground garden. and hopefully throughout the next week, if we can dodge rain, we can get that sowed in. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed the update. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if this is your first time watching us. Remember, keep growing, keep building, and always keep adventuring. Together, we're Flemington Famous. We'll see you next time.